In the not-so-distant future, the world found itself enveloped in the flames of...
Fist of the North Star, also known as Hokuto no Ken, in my opinion, is one of the better told shonen anime manga stories out there. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic world in which World War III basically happened and all that is left is desert. This is a cruel world in which violence and the strong are supreme and the weak are at the mercy of these two things. At the center of it all is the main character, Kenshiro, who practices the martial arts Hokuto Shinken. Kenshiro is on a quest of revenge and on a quest to reclaim his kidnapped fiancée, Yuria. It sounds cliche, but it does get interesting. Now in the game, the story has been faithfully redone in its legend mode. The game goes all the way to Kenshiro's final showdown with Raoh, which is basically the halfway point in the series and an excellent stopping point for the game. As a fan of the series, it was fun to see some of the classic series scenes done in 3D and to see Koei's take on it. The thing is, the story was presented in a way only the fan or someone familiar with the series would be able to understand how it works. Sorry for my pauses, but it's basically like a highlight reel with many details skipped and just the most important points retained. For people who never seen the series, it may be hard to keep up with the details, but there is a basic outline of sorts to tell you who's who. But I recommend for those really interested in the story, I highly recommend checking out the manga or anime, as that goes into more detail. Alright, when it comes down to gameplay, Fist of the North Star has two modes for you to choose from, Legend and Dream mode. Legend mode is basically the story mode from the anime, and Dream mode is an all new story mode, sort of like a what if of sorts. It's kind of similar to the mission mode found in Dynasty Warrior Gundam series. I will talk more about this mode in a bit more detail, but for now I want to talk about the game dynamics. Ken's Rage is a beat 'em up type game similar to the likes of Dynasty Warriors, in which you beat up countless enemies and eventually fight a general-like character, which is usually the end boss of the stage. There are 8 characters to choose from. Each character plays quite differently from the others, so that adds a bit of variety to the game. However, while I praise Sengoku Basara for its smaller and varied roster, I cannot do this for this game. For those familiar with the franchise, Fist of the North Star has a unique set of characters. Adding 8 is a real insult. I mean, where's the likes of Shu, Ryuga, Juza, Fuzo, just to name a few. There could have been easily 25 playable characters. And yes, there could have been even more variety play-wise. It doesn't help if 4 of your 8 characters are the Hokuto brothers. Come on now. Control-wise, Ken Rage plays like any Dynasty Warrior game. You have your jump buttons, your 2 attack buttons for light and heavy, and your special. After that, the game adds its own little touches. There is a grab button, your dodge/parry button depending on the character, and for special there are 2 types of specials you can do. There's your regular signature gauge, in which you perform a special move. This move takes a bar, and some may take more than 1 bar. The cool thing about this thing is that you can have 4 of them assigned to a different directional button. Now, the second type of special is the hyper signature move. By pressing the left trigger, you go into a state in which your attacks are unblockable. It is in this stage that you can perform a hyper signature move, which is basically a move that instantly kills enemies, yes, even sub-bosses. There are 3 levels in which, and depending on each level, the more enemies you can kill at the same time. What I'm trying to say is that the higher the level, like I said, level 2, you can kill more enemies, and level 3, which is the highest level, you kill more enemies. The downside to this is that your regular signature bars you need your regular signature bars to activate it. Sorry, I'm being retarded today. However, you only need 1 signature bar to activate this mode, so one can find ways to use this to their advantage. As you play through the game, your characters get stronger and you can level them up. How you do that is through the median chart, which is like the spear grid system from Final Fantasy X, but not as complex. So basically, you pick how you want to level your characters, which is pretty cool in my opinion. There are 3 character classes: Hokuto, Nanto, and Projectile. Hokutos have power attacks, Nantos are quick and have this matrix-like mode in which they can unlock more moves, and Projectiles use long-range weapons as their primary means of combat. Alright, let's talk about Legend and Dream mode real quick. Legend mode, as I said, is the story mode based off the series. You can play as Kenshiro, Rei, Mamiya, Toki, and Raoh. It was really cool to see the story from each character's perspective, and what I liked was each character had their own way of getting through the level. Now, Dream mode is a what-if type of mode, like I said earlier. It's similar to standard Dynasty Warriors, gameplay in which you have allies, bases, and multiple generals to fight. Things to note. Oh my gosh. Things to note about this mode is that this is the only play you can play 2 players and where you can use all 8 characters. That's cool enough, but I found this mode to be really boring. Let me explain it to you. You play the stage 4 or 5 times and like it, but every stage begins and ends the same way. You start your base, you fight a general, you rescue a friend, fight a few more generals, maybe rescue another friend, and then you fight the big bad boss. And each character has anywhere from 3 to 6 stages, and there are 8 of them to use. Believe me, I know, as I have done every single thing you can do in this game. I really prefer Legend mode as that was more varied and worked more in tune with the slower paced combat system. One more thing that really annoyed me. How are you gonna have Kenshiro be the worst character in the game? They made him so stiff and slow. Sure, when you level him up, he becomes strong and has some of the best moves. But that doesn't really mean he's fun to play with. Koei, I hope Kenshiro comes to your office and 100 crack fists every single one of you and has your head explode. A disgrace, and it doesn't really help things that Kenshiro has the most levels too. Let's move on to graphics. Okay, graphics and music. What I really liked about the graphics is that the character models are really well done. You know, all the character models are well done. They look really good for 3D. But what I didn't like was that the background and surrounding stuff are, you know, dull and plain. You know, you play one level, you know, it's gonna be the same dull, boring background again. I mean, it's the apocalypse, I know, but it doesn't have to, it wasn't that boring in the end. They had some diversity, you know. I'd love to see some nice stages too, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. But let's talk about music. Okay, I want to talk about voice acting. Now, there's English and Japanese voice acting. I was really disappointed they didn't have the original voice actors for the Japanese cast. As you know, I'm really fond of Kenshiro's Japanese voice actor. But you know, the English voice acting, depending what Japanese fanboys and weeaboos say, it's pretty well done. And I actually left it on English because it was pretty entertaining to listen to. And the music is just standard rock and roll from, you know, Dinosaur. I don't know why they like using rock and roll music for every game, but there are some few songs that made it from the show and quite a few remixes, and that was pretty nice to hear. So anyway, let's just talk about the conclusion now. You know, once again, the professional reviewers like, you know, IGN Game Trust, they crucified and bashed the shit out of this game. And, you know, once again, it's going to give people the wrong impression. This game is not too good a game, but in my opinion, it wasn't that bad a game. The word I would describe this game is that it's average, you know. I mean, I have fun with the game, you know, but, you know, there's something that annoyed me, but, you know, something they could have done better, but it wasn't to say the game is mediocre. I think it's pretty average, you know. I'm a big fan, you know. I know there's a lot of people who's, you know, fan series that say, oh man, I get this game, it's the greatest, no stuff. No, it's average, you know. I think the PS2 game is probably the best one, if you're looking for the best one, no stuff. But this is an average, you're gonna have an average time with it. It's fun, it's decent, but you know, I think, you know, I play Sengoku Boss Rush, and that kind of spoiled me on what a beat-em-up should have been. But I like this for its own charm, you know. It has a slower pace of combat. It really showcases the brutality. I wish, you know, Kenshiro was better, which is a shame. Your main character is not good at all for fun to play. But there's some things they could have done. Sorry. Now, like I said, I've done everything in the game. I mean, I did when I say I've done everything, I've done every character's legend mode, every character's dream mode, and I have about 90% of the trophy/achievements. I'm only missing 3 of them. And those 3 of them are kind of stupid to do. It's just basically kill like 5,000 each enemy with each different class. But to say I have all of them, it took me about 42 hours to get through the game, and you know, that's pretty good distraction. It really kept me, you know, busy, all that kind of stuff. But you know, the game ended, and after I finished playing for the I went back to Sengoku Boss Rush. And we're gonna see this. Let me just wrap it up. This is my point. You know, this game, I really think they really aimed it for the fans. Even if you're a fan of Dynasty Warriors Samurai Heroes, you might be turned off by the slower pace and the way they did the story mode and many of the references. It's like the expected fans are the people that are going to buy this game. And so that person, I can really recommend it for fans of the series, you know, manga, show, whatever. You know, if you're looking for easy to get in game that's more friendly, I recommend Sengoku Boss Rush. And you know, this game was very huge in Japan. It sold about 500,000 in 1 week. But you know, because the way the reviewers over here bash the Shelly game, I hate to say it, but the sales potential of this game is already dead. Okay, you know I was gonna say the joke. I said it. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys next time, and you're already dead. Bye bye.